Good afternoon, Atlanta and the world. This is Anthony C. Aiken, and you're listening to the new WCEG network on WCEGtalkradio.com. You can listen to us on live stream, or you can watch us live on your smart TV or on YouTube. Again, I'm Anthony Aiken. I'm just one of the co-hosts. My good compadre Herman Anderson is not with us today, but we're just going to carry on because that's what we do at Veterans Today Talk Radio. We're the worldwide community empowerment group where we speak life into the community. And today, we are so honored because you can like us on Facebook, you can follow us on Twitter and on Instagram at WCEG Talk Radio and WCEG Network. But I want to say this too. I got to give you a disclaimer because we want you to know that the topics and opinions are those of the show hosts, me and Herman and others, and guests, and not the WCEG network. So thank you for your continued support and being with us today. Now, folks, we have a great treat for you today, an absolute treat. We have an individual by the name of Farrell Matthews. For over 20 years of experience as a certified orientation and mobility specialist, dealing with someone like me, someone that's a blind veteran or a veteran with vision issues. And he's going to come to us today with a lot of expertise. How you doing today, Mr. Matthews?
I'm absolutely marvelous, sir. How about yourself?
Man, I tell you what, it's so good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I can see.
Yeah, I do that.
But it's so good that you're here. But, you know, I want to tell the folks that we have a gentleman that's not only a former military person that served in the military, but after getting out of the military, decided that he wanted to give back. And he went into the VA system and became a mobility type instructor, a graduate of South Carolina State University. We're both homeboys.
All day long, yeah. All right.
From this great state of South Carolina.
Awesome, yes, sir.
That kind of thing. You know, he is doing tremendous work in the area of blind rehabilitation. And he's what we call a BROS. And I know you folks out there don't know what that is, so let me educate you. It is a blind rehabilitation outpatient specialist. Mr. Matthews.
Yes, sir.
Greeting again.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity, sir. Thank you for allowing me to just share the expertise from Miss Penny Rogers all the way down. So it's a pleasure to be here today.
Well, not only Miss Penny Rogers, I got to give a shout out to Miss Vivian Greer because, you know, not only she's our technical expertise to keep us together, but she's brought you to the table. And, you know, we don't give out any shout outs. You know what that is. But if we got to,
we need to.
You know what I mean? So
certainly
we want to give a shout out to her for bringing you on board, you know, that kind of thing. So why don't you tell our specialists a little bit about Mr. Matthews and why you got into what you're doing.
All right. Well, again, my name is Farrell Matthews. I'm actually Farrell Matthews Jr. I'm from Greeleyville, South Carolina, a little small town north of Charleston. And my thing is that country boy, born and raised on a farm. I still got my family members probably tuning in right about now. Awesome. You know, awesome. Old school raising and everything like that. But what got me into actually blind rehab, I had an auntie, a grand auntie, my grandmother's sister. And she was, you know, lived in Baltimore. And the beautiful thing about her and her spirit was that she always remembered my birthday. You know? So when I was 4 years old, she would send a birthday card and everything like that. And she'll have $4 in it. And I thought that was like super cool. And she remembered that pretty much all of my younger years. But moving on, you know, fast forwarding a little bit, she eventually had a visual impairment. And she lived in the city of Baltimore where they have public transportation and everything like that. But then a few times she came to my grandmother's house and I was just amazed by why she was walking with a stick or looking at her like, auntie, grand auntie, you're not visually impaired. You're not blind. And I'm trying to get that understanding. she passed on and everything. And the thing that really got to me was that I don't think she really got any services when she came to the country. Now in the city or metropolitan areas, yes, it's more available. But in the country, I was like, thinking how lonesome that can be. You're with family, but they don't understand. And
Absolutely.
if you're with family, but they don't understand the visual impairment, this world that you're in, this new normal, this new world that you're in, and just felt compassionate toward it. And was fortunate enough to get into the program, or find a program. And for me, it was like, it doesn't matter where they live, because I would not want a person to feel alone by themselves because of a visual impairment. So in my experiences and stuff like that, I have started a company at one time. And it didn't matter wherever the person was. If they experienced a visual impairment, I'll be there to provide some therapy for them.
Well, you just said something that really struck home with me, the new normal aspect. And,
Yes, yes.
like your grandmother, being one of, in that category, being, low vision, uh, blind issues, we always went through what we call that little prejudice against us, because they see you with your eyeglasses on, they see you with your cane, but they don't understand what you're dealing with. And until you walk in someone's shoes, they will never know what you're dealing with. So it's very, very important for someone like you to train a person like me, and then we can educate the family members to what our life's about. Because the moment those issues start to occur, your life will change forever.
Forever, yes, indeed.
It's changed forever. So, so I tell our listeners, where are you located right now?
Currently, I'm located in Lake City, Florida. The area that I work with the Veteran Affairs is a satellite location per se. And what we do, we go out to the homes, or I go out to the homes, other veterans, or different clinics or libraries or whatever like that, to actually, teach these different life skills. So right now I'm right in Lake City, Florida here.
Well, that's good, because like I said at the top of the show, you went to South Carolina State, and your bio, by the way, it's pretty awesome. I see that you have a secondary degree education, and then you just got that light turned on and got your master's degree in vocational rehabilitation with certificate in orientation mobility from the Bulldogs, South Carolina State University.
Yes, I have to represent. I mean, yes, I attended South Carolina State University, and like I said, it was a wonderful learning experience to attend one in HBCU, because there is a level of education that helps round out the experience. But I also want to thank Shirley Madison, if she's ever listening. She's from St. Stephen, South Carolina, actually.
Oh, I know the area. That's my family stomping grounds.
Okay, all right, absolutely. Yeah. And she brought me into the program. She explained, she taught. She was my mentor for years, still is. And the thing is that with blind rehab, be the best at it. Be the best at it. Be the best at it. That's that bulldog tenacity, and mix it with a little bit of that Matthews, and oh yeah.
Well, you know what? It is so good that you have the personality, because a person like myself and others, they need someone to give them the uplift, to give them the encouragement that they can still be successful, even though they may be limited, and now they have to do things a different way. And I can tell you, and our listeners out there, it was not an easy transition for me, and I'm sure for others it was not an easy transition. And it wasn't until a almost catastrophic event that caused me to realize that I was in trouble, and that I was walking into doors and walking into walls and feeling insecure going up and down stairs. And I realized then that I had an issue. I had an issue. So August of 2014, I took the leap of faith after almost 2 years of fighting it, and going to the Blind Rehabilitation Center at the VA hospital in Birmingham, Alabama.
All right. All right. Yeah, that normally is a situation. I mean, especially with the veterans. I mean, because you think about being a veteran, you think about being a service member, hard charging, confident in what you do, skilled in your area and everything. And to then all of a sudden experience a visual impairment, which is a change in your world. In my opinion, and some places I've read before that, the loss of vision is one of the most terrifying things. You got people who are scared of the dark, or you got people that are claustrophobic, closed spaces, different types of fear. But when it comes to your vision, you communicate so much, or you take in so much information with your vision, so it does rock your world.
Tell me about it. Rock your world.
A world,
That's not the music song. We're talking.
No, no, no. Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. I mean, and you're right, and so with that thought process, and you're trying to deal with that yourself. I mean, something as simple as picking out the same color socks, understanding what time it is, the things that most people would take for granted. The idea of knowing what time of day it is, or you try to pour yourself a cup of coffee and you don't know when the cup is filled. Okay. Or you spill something, those different things, that takes some adjustment, sir. Mm-hmm.
You bring up some very interesting points. And if you just allow me just a minute to elaborate on a particular case. I remember the first day of going into the Blind Rehabilitation Center at the VA in Birmingham. And again, I have some vision, not complete like I had before. But once I got settled in, and they called all of the veterans into the dining hall for dinner, and they assigned me to this particular table. So I go to this table, and everybody had on shades, So I'm thinking everybody's cool. So these gentlemen were sitting there, and I'm going to reiterate the point that you were talking about. They were feeling all over the table trying to find things. So I said, I wonder what's going on here. So the guy said, well, I can't find my fork. And I said, oh, your fork is right to your right. And it's almost like unison. The three of them said, wait a minute, you could see? I'm like, I was shocked.
Yes.
Like I said, I thought everybody was cool. They just had on shades. But they literally could not see anything. So they were putting their fingers in their plates. They couldn't tell where the salt shaker was, the forks, the knives. They couldn't find out where the glass was. They were spilling food, they were dropping it was just amazing to me. That was really, really, really made me feel the point that, hey, this is something different.
Yes, it is. It is. And not to get too technical, but with visual impairments, it fluctuates. You have low vision, then you have legal blindness, and then total blindness. And one of the things about the Blind Center is that you see or you witness other individuals who are going through the same thing, or maybe even worse. So the idea of learning how to do those things, you're not alone in the Blind Center, like the one that you went, the VA Blind Center in Birmingham. You found out that you're not alone, and now you're placed in a place with other individuals who are dealing with some of the same issues. Like, for instance, I worked at the Augusta Blind Rehab Center for a number of years. And thank goodness for those services, because there's 13 of them all across the nation.
Absolutely. Yep, that is true.
So that's one of the better things that's going on in the world of blind rehab with our veterans. So yes, I can understand your first day, and it's like, different than basic training would have been, but it can be a shock and awe.
Well, you know what? For our listeners out there, again, we want to let you know you're listening to the new WCEG network, and today we're just blessed to have Mr. Farrell Matthews from South Carolina, who's a certified orientational mobility specialist. He's in the state of Florida, and he does great things in helping individuals who have vision issues get used to their new normal. So let me ask you this. On a typical day, and you have ex-veteran and your bros, and you go to their home, what are some of the first things that you talk to that veteran about in their family?
Well, nowadays I have to take precautions with COVID, But the bottom line is that whenever I go there to do what we call an intake interview, you want the support system to be there to hear everything that's going on. I get the point of view or challenges that the veterans are going through, as well as the points of views of the support system or family members. Because sometimes we have this notion of, hey, how you doing? And our response will normally be, I'm fine. Or can you, pick out your socks? Because it's a simple task, we'll have the pride to come in and say, yes, I can do it. And then someone in the background looking at me like,
Mm-mm.
yeah, no, you can't,
No.
So, you have those things. And so I get that type of information to find out the type of planning or that I can do immediately or refer them higher in services like to advisor program or blind rehab center. But, the thing is that the different things in the home, understanding, giving the family members an understanding of don't move the furniture around. Okay. If you can help it, don't put the furniture around, or don't have just throw rugs on the floor because that can be a mobility issue or a safety issue.
Correct.
Making sure that, you have things just in case of an emergency. Do you have a plan to get out of the home? But bottom line is just introducing the family members or getting opinions from the family members and the veterans, but also providing some techniques and skills immediately for that veteran and their family.
Yeah, I hope that we have individuals who are not veterans listening today, because those issues are the same, regardless of that male or female having served in the military. And the point that I'm trying to get to when you talked about bringing the family together, it is so important for that unit, that family unit, to understand that change. I was very surprised by listening to some veterans that were there at the Blind Rehab Center, indicating that they were being treated better at the VA than they were being treated at home.
Yes.
And that blew me away.
Yeah, it's a touching thing to hear. Fast forward to like the end of the program. Most programs last anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks at a blind rehab center, and as you did, you participated in a graduation ceremony.
Correct.
And what has happened is most of those blind rehab centers are catered to individuals experiencing blind rehab. So you have these blind rehab specialists that are, like, in my opinion, angels on the earth, because these young men and women understand blind rehab and make an environment that is so comforting, accommodating, but also educational, so that you can take that information and all of that and take it back home. Most family members are welcome to participate in those programs just as well too, so that they can get that understanding. Because blindness sometimes is a stigma because our support system really don't understand it. It is very fearful. Okay. And just like you were mentioning before, it's easy to assume that, okay, you can't see. Well, why don't you have sunglasses on? You're not blind.
Yeah, you're not
blind. And it is something to deal with mentally while trying to continue to be the person that you have been before all the time. So it's an adjustment. And thank goodness for those centers like that, the blind rehab centers from the VA, as well as their outpatient specialists.
Well, as Mr. Matthew indicated, there are 13 blind rehabilitation centers around the United States. And these centers are designed to help with veterans in those particular areas. For instance, I went to the Southeast Blind Rehab Center, which is in Birmingham, but there are others. And correct me if I'm wrong there, Mr. Matthews, but I recall there's Biloxi, Mississippi, there's Phoenix, Arizona, there's Augusta, Georgia, there's Waco, Texas, West Palm Beach, Florida, Puerto Rico, Hines in Illinois, West Haven, Connecticut. Am I missing any others?
We're going a little further west. You're doing very well with it. And you also have one in Long Beach, California. You also have a blind rehab center out in Westlake, which is on the West Coast there. But I think you pretty much named them all, sir. You very, very well.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of some other ones.
Yeah, I think it's very important that our listeners know that regardless of where you are in the country, there's help for you, especially if you're a veteran.
Right.
Here in Atlanta, where I live, there's a center for the visually impaired, which is in downtown Atlanta. for
Right,
those
right.
individuals that are not, in military background. And there's also one in Talladega, Alabama, for those individuals who are civilians too. So, there are different things, but, other than the mobility aspect, a veteran like Anthony Aiken or someone coming through and they're going to be in the hospital for 6 to 8 weeks, which I did. What are some of the other type trainings other than using the cane training that the Blind Rehab Center will give that particular veteran to help them adjust with his or her new normal?
Okay, all right. In the world of blind rehab, you have pretty much four skilled areas: orientation, mobility, and as you mentioned before, that's my specialty. And most people see, witness individuals walk around with this white stick in their hand. So you have that orientation, mobility. You have living skills. Living skills is another segment that teaches you, activities of daily living, understanding what time it is, how to prepare a meal for yourself, how to sew clothes if you need to, how to do your laundry, how to utilize a stove without burning yourself.
Yes.
Then you have manual skills for the vocational. Most times, you want to make picture frames or items out of wood. How to use saws and hammers and all of those things. Then you have the area called low vision, which are primarily your glasses as well as magnifiers. So that's the low vision. And then we have another department called CATS, which is computer assistive training, and which is another area of specialty to teach veterans and how to use these smartphones, computers, how to type, because we have veterans that have the goal of wanting to write a newsletter or write I don't know what happened. I wanted to write a biography or something like that. So we have those areas available in the blind rehab centers. So those pretty much are the skilled areas.
Well, soon we're going to have my good friend and co-host Herman Anderson to join us. Herman, we've been doing this now going on about 6 years, and he's my brother from a different mother, and I really enjoy him being part of the show. And we started this thing almost 6 years ago under the tutelage of our, as I call her, Madam Kahuna, Penny Rogers. So, but some of the things that you mentioned are so important. I recall during the time of my training of going through those different areas, the manual skills and working in the carpentry shop, and everything was geared to help you with your confidence.
Right.
Increase
Absolutely.
your level of confidence that you could adjust to it. I recall making bowls, making pens, doing making belts, things of that nature. Everything was geared. And I recall one of the instructors says, use your hands as an extension of your eyes.
Absolutely.
And I said, wow, these guys are coming up with some phrases that are just blowing me away. You know what I mean? But they were very, very important to help with the building of your self-confidence that you could still be successful.
Correct. That's what it's about. Then we also have one, I think another important area of the Blind Center is you have your social workers there or your VIS coordinators, and they also have access to, different services like psychology, okay, because it's a huge adjustment. Again, fortunate enough, because you do have these services for kids as well, but in the realm of the veterans, you have someone who's at least an adult who have probably put on socks all their lives. But now you run into that. I can't tell what color the socks are. So that brings your confidence level down because you're still trying to adjust to this way of life now. So that's what we teach. We teach the confidence, even with orientation mobility. Never walk with your head down, ever. Because personal safety, someone seeing you walk with your head down all the time, you don't know who might be coming up to you. Somebody might see that you're a victim waiting. Okay, so just with orientation mobility, keeping your head up, as in with your experience with manual skills, use your hands as your eyes. All we're trying to do is to help you accommodate for, your vision situation, but you're still a person. You're still able and capable of doing so. Let us just show you how.
My thing, Mr. Matthews, is now that I've gone through the program and I've been dealing with my vision issues as far back as 1989, a long time. And I fought it for a very long time. But once I became involved and accepted the new normal, I became an advocate. And as a result of that, formed a nonprofit organization called Visually Impaired Veterans of America. And I'd like all our listeners out there to just go on your web, if you can see or can't see or have someone assist you, and it's www.visuallyimpairedveteransofamerica.com, and take a look at it. And what we're doing with the nonprofit, just like you work with a nonprofit, is to try and educate others. We talk about the white cane day. Why is the white cane? What's the purpose of a white cane? So we try to educate and to let them know about the manual skills and let them know other things that they can do. So it's very, very important that we continue to uplift those. And so I tell you what, tell our listeners, let's say a family has a veteran that they are now observing having some vision issues, and that veteran is eligible to go to the VA. So what would be that process for that VA and that family member to try and get some help to get that veteran some training?
Okay. Well, first of all, yes, anyone who has served in the military, please understand that they are veterans. I want to put that out really important, because some people are enduring, some service members or veterans are actually not realizing that they're eligible for these services. Okay, so go to the VA. But the thing is as long as you register with the VA medical center, and you go to your primary care doctor, and you realize that you're having some visual situations, they'll probably do a consult for you to go to an optometrist or a low vision doctor or something like that. And if that's the case, that they figure that you find out that your vision is worse than 20/20, something like 20/60, 20/70, then that your information is forwarded to what we call a VIS coordinator. Okay, and the VIS coordinator, he or she, is actually like the social worker. Then you fall into that realm of maybe blind rehab or the VIS service team, and from there, and most each of the VA medical centers have a VIS coordinator either in that particular building or somewhere close by. Okay, and that will get the ball rolling when it comes to getting services for yourself. But you got to register. Yes, sir.
That's very, very important. I see that we have my other co-host there. How you doing, Herman? Can you hear us? No, he's still trying to connect. But I can tell you that's so important of going through that process with the VIS coordinator to get you going. And once you're certified, and they'll send out a request to the particular blind rehab center in your particular area, and for acceptance. Can you hear us, Herman?
I can. Good afternoon, brother Ann.
How you doing? And welcome. We have a tremendous guest on today, Mr. Farrell Matthews from South Carolina.
Well, I know that makes you happy, so I'm gonna listen in, keep it rolling.
Okay, thank you, man. But what we're talking about today is something that's, as you know, Herman, and to all our listeners, that I've been dealing with a long time, and I gave a shameless shout out to Ms. Greer for bringing Mr. Matthews on, because the subject we're talking about today is dealing with low vision issues, blind issues, and Mr. Farrell Matthews, working as a blind rehabilitation outpatient specialist, is providing our listeners some great information in regards to this particular, as I call it, new normal. I don't call it an illness. I just call it.
There you go. That is it. That is it.
It's a new normal. So one thing I think you could relate to our listeners is some of the tools that the VA center provides to the veteran, male or female, once they have gone through the training, that they can bring back to their home to assist them as they continue to deal with their new normal.
Yes, there are numerous different devices that they would bring back. The most simple would be like a talking watch. Talking watch. We also issue things called like a liquid level indicator, so that whenever you're trying to pour yourself something to drink, it will vibrate on the cup or at least beep in order to let you know when to stop. Provide oven mitts. We even do something very simple as bump dots, and what I'm holding up in my hand now, like different little colored dots and everything like that
Yes.
you can place on your washing machine, microwave oven, we call it labeling, that type deal. Talking tape measures, handheld magnifiers, and something that's very big and something like a closed caption television or a CCTV, and you could slide that. You can slide printed material under that, and it will magnify it for you. We issue computers, we issue smartphones, tablets. So those are just some of the items I can think of on top of my head that we issue for the veterans to take home with themselves.
Yeah, matter of fact, I
Yeah,
got to get some of Herman's monies because we need to go out and get some of these new fantastic golf balls.
Yes.
The veterans, so you can still play golf because that's a passion.
Mhm.
Anthony, I was going to ask him, could he help us out and tell us what process the veterans need to go through as filling out the paperwork? Where do you send it? Who do you call? Can you give us some of that? Some of the logistics?
Sure, that's no problem at all. First of all, as the veteran wants to make sure that he or she are registered with the VA, and once they're able to get a primary care appointment with their primary care doctor and everything, they would send them to the optometry department in order to get a visual exam. And if their vision is anywhere below 20/20, something like 20/40, 20/60, then a consult is being placed to the VIS coordinator throughout the VA. And then the VIS coordinator will sign you up for the program. And someone like myself will probably go out to the home to take care of the immediate needs. But sometimes some veterans need more training than others. And that's when we do the referrals to the blind centers, the 13 blind centers, across the country. And we also have intermediate programs or smaller, what they call visor programs. And I think we have like 10 of those across the nation just as well, because it can be something wanting, you need this help and you have to travel a distance away from your family, and then sometimes anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. So blind rehab is really trying to reach out, making ourselves more available, for the veterans that aren't experiencing these challenges.
That is
Great.
That's so important. And that's a great question, Herman, because there are a lot of veterans that don't understand it, or the family members don't understand the process. So someone like, Mr. Matthews and this coordinator, someone like that could help that veteran get through that process to make sure that they get the right things done for them.
Absolutely.
One other thing I think is very important for our listeners to know, that once that individual, male or female, have been approved and has gone through the program, there are many other things that the VA will provide for that veteran to help him or her get adjusted to their home. So a couple of things will be like the HISA program.
Right.
Can you elaborate a little bit on some of those programs that could help the veterans at their home?
Okay. All right. And with those different benefits, it becomes, if it's service connected and everything like that. But you do have the HISA program, and that's a home improvement program that will be able to redo the structures in your home to make lighting more appropriate for you. With this HISA grant, you can also have your bathrooms modified. You can have like a ramp be placed to your home, so you have to avoid stairs, even though we would like for you to take the stairs, but if you're not capable of doing so, we can do that too. When it comes to visual impairments, you may get an exemption on some of your taxes, just according to your level. Tags for your vehicle. Also, you can also receive maybe credit on your property taxes. So there's a few things, that are available to the veterans if they apply for these actual benefits. So Voc Rehab, because sometimes you associate, visual impairment. Well, we know that we're serving younger veterans now. So things like Voc Rehab, those types of things are available for the veterans too. All you have to do is either get in contact with your VIS coordinator, and he or she will help guide you through that program. You also have the Blinded Veterans Association, and they're located all over the country just as well too. And right there in the great state there of Georgia, you have the VSO, the Blinded Veteran Association in Atlanta. You have one in Augusta, Columbus, and Dublin. And they also have a special women's group just as well too. So what we try to do is make sure that we take care of all the veterans, regardless of their age or gender. So that's just some of the stuff that are available. And also, before we run out of time, you want to find out. You have some veterans that are part of different eras, like the Vietnam veterans. And I want to say this right now: welcome home to all the Vietnam veterans that are listening. Welcome home. But you have the Vietnam veterans that are experiencing things like Agent Orange, or my type of or my segment of service members who are the Gulf War veterans who are experiencing episodes of PTSD and TBIs and everything like that. So the services are available, the benefits are available, and I just want to put that out there.
Well, you know what? Those points are very, very true, because I've utilized every one of them. The HISA program, the home improvement program. I've utilized, the SHA program to do restructuring of my home. I have so many different toys that they've given me, as I call them, iPads, cell phones, etc. Everything to help me with my new normal.
If you don't mind me interjecting for a moment there, and one more program that I really wanted to put out, and that is the Caregivers Program.
Absolutely.
Okay. The Caregivers Program, and I will not go into specifics now because I don't have the exact numbers per se, but the Caregivers Program is for the support system, totally for the support system, because we can be a handful. Okay. We, the veteran, him or herself, could be a handful, and it takes a lot of support. And the VA is recognizing that now by providing the Caregivers Program to provide, I should say, assistance to take a break, assistance to get away for a while. Also, and if you qualify, certain monetary benefits just as well too, because caregiving is a lot. Okay, it is a job in itself. So the VA is recognizing, the support systems of us veterans, and I say us veterans and everything because even I don't know if people can see it. I have on a special pair of glasses here myself, from a visual impairment also, and I have what's called like occluders. I don't know if you can see it here. I'm holding glasses with, and in the middle of it, it looks like a whole bunch of tape. Okay. And so what it is an example of, like I said, my era with TBIs and PTSD. So the thing is that those are some of the programs, and the toys that you are able to bring home. I mean, they're phenomenal. They're phenomenal, and we encourage the veterans such as yourself to continue to use those. And also to the veterans, if you're able to participate in those programs, you can always go back. It's not a one-time deal. We're constantly here, or the VA is constantly here for you with any type of adjustments. Even if your vision fluctuates to get worse, we're still here for you.
Just let me add a couple of comments. I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I'm also dealing with that. Actually, the reason I wasn't able to get on.
I think we lost you, Herman. I think we lost you. Yeah, we did. But I agree. Yeah, Herman being a Vietnam veteran, and also the president of a nonprofit, that's done tremendous work helping veterans through some issues, and a few things that we always talk about. And when Herman comes back online, I see he's coming back there, but everything's going to be needed for a veteran. And one thing is to make sure that they have a copy of their DD Form 214, which is very, very important to help them with that process. You talked about PTSD, you talked about Agent Orange, and this is something that Herman and I have, we just preach every time we get on the air. The importance of having that DD Form 214, understanding the process of dealing with getting in the Agent Orange database. And for those veterans like Herman that, served, and myself all served in Vietnam, it's very, very important that we utilize the system to help us. Herman, you're back on now. You had a question that you were kind of breaking up.
Well, just let me add that we also let you and myself, we also tell our veterans that we earn these benefits. It's not anything that anyone is given or donated to us. As veterans, we earn all of these benefits that are available, and we encourage everyone to pursue them.
Herman couldn't say it any better. And again, you're listening to the new WCEG network, WCEG Talk Radio, and we have Herman Anderson and Anthony C. Aiken, and we're just blessed today to have Mr. Farrell Matthews from the great state of South Carolina. He's a little geeky like myself outside of Charleston, South Carolina, but you're listening to the Worldwide Community Empowerment Group, and we're speaking life into the community. And all we want you to do, folks, is spread the word about the WCEG network of families of different show hosts, and to check us out. We have some great co-hosts providing great information, but today we're just blessed to have Mr. Farrell Matthews on, and he's given us some great insight about something that I personally deal with, and that's being blindness issues and low vision issues. So Mr. Matthews, one other thing I think that's very, very important that our listeners need to know about, and that even though you've gone through the training one time, this is something that's going to be continuous.
Yes. Unfortunately, most visual impairments stay with you for the rest of your life. And some conditions, it gets worse, or it fluctuates or decreases. And so some of the things that you may have been able to do, you're not able to do anymore because of the visual or something else is going on. Again, the VA blind centers and outpatient services are always here for you, always, even if it's, something from being able to tell the
I think you got a little frozen. Can you unmute?
Okay, I'm
Okay,
back. But yeah, those services are constantly available for you all, for veterans that are experiencing. And the thing is that, like I said, we're always here. And as Mr. Herman mentioned just a little while ago, please go register at your VA medical center. Please have your DD 214 available. You can always go online and request a copy of that just as well. And one of the closeout things that we also mentioned is making sure that you register with e-benefits as well as My Healthy Vet. That's a part of our training protocol to make sure that the veterans understand how to use those actual websites, because then that way you can constantly communicate with your primary care doctor, ourselves, which is the specialists themselves. You can do those types of things. Now they're issuing to some veterans that qualify, small smart pads so that they can actually communicate with their healthcare providers even during this time of COVID.
Well, that's very, very important, because I can recall when I was going to my 2 months there in Birmingham at the VA Center, they made sure that all of the veterans in the blind rehab program were registered under My Healthy Vet and were familiar with e-benefits, because that's the trend. And even though you have those issues, as you indicated earlier, going through the CATS training, computer access training, they will show you how you can utilize the systems to actually get into it. And for a lot of listeners out there, I must give a lot of kudos to the Apple product, mainly because of the accessibility part of their program. Can you elaborate a little bit on the accessibility aspect of utilizing the computer?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes, I give credit to Apple just as well. Apple, as well as some of the other Android or Galaxy Androids or whatever like that. Most uh, devices have adaptive features, being able to enlarge the print on the screen, enhance the actual contrasts, the capabilities of text to speech or speech to text, or even vice versa, speech to text or text to speech. But they do have all of these different, how should I say, adaptive features, and that's what we do within our training. We go into the actual settings and to make these adjustments for our veterans. And not only that, but to be able to download apps. As you were mentioning before, it's the day or time where, apps are the thing, So with that, you can identify money, identify currency. You can have something be read to you. With technology, you can have products. If you scan the barcode, it can read to you the contents. Because if you can remember, for instance, Campbell's soup. From a distance, all Campbell's soups cans look the same, But with a visual impairment, you may want to use cream of mushroom, but picked up cream of celery or something like that. And you're expecting your dish to taste a certain way, but you put the wrong ingredient in because you weren't able to pick up the right one. So with the technology, that's what we teach, the adaptive features as well as their apps to help supplement when finding out information, as well as for personal safety and comfort.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I don't know if our viewers can see this, but here's my phone that was provided to me after I went to the computer access training, the CATS training. And on the phone, I have different applications, as Mr. Matthews mentioned before. For one that I utilize, Be My Eyes. I utilize that. On my mobile reader, help me to read money, things of that nature. So there are certain things that you can utilize, certain applications that will help you adjust to your new normal. Once you get your, quote, head straight or get it screwed on right, that you're still a normal person.
Yes, sir.
That you're dealing with something new, and just move on with your life.
Absolutely.
One thing before we run out of time, I was, if you could talk a little bit more about caretaker benefits. I know that I believe in the last 6 months, a year, the benefits, the possibility has been increased by the VA. And I have a veterans group in this, but what I find out, there are a lot of veterans, Vietnam era veterans, Korea era veterans that are not aware of the benefits that are available for caretakers, not to all caretakers of all veterans. So any additional information you can provide about that would be helpful.
Okay. Well, first of all, if they're experiencing a visual impairment and they've received services from any of the blind rehab centers, advisor programs, or VISPROs, that's what they would do. They would ask their VIS coordinator about the caregiver program, because there are certain qualifications now that a veteran has to satisfy in order to receive. It's not a walk up and I get it, but it is available. And that's one of the, wonderful things that has taken place, that the Department of Veteran Affairs is understanding that it is important to have a support system. And that support system as a caregiver can be taxing. And so it's a matter of just not only just taking care of the veteran, but their support system just as well too. But in order to find out about that, I would recommend that the veterans do get in contact with their VIS coordinator to find out, to get more information about it. I don't have the exact figures when it comes to monetary, but that is something that you can possibly qualify for. So I encourage, and I love this show here, because it's all about putting information out to the community. not only just veterans, but also, caregivers, as well as other individuals who are experiencing visual impairments. So that's you guys are doing a wonderful job. Thank you for having me on there. But that is what I would recommend to those veterans of those specific eras, the Vietnam veterans, the Korean War veterans, as well as your Gulf War veterans. The program is there.
The beauty of our show is that after we aired, we could share the information with others on YouTube and Facebook, and it'll be archived. And I know for a fact, like myself and Herman, we tell others about the show, and we want them to spread the word, because we speak life into the community.
Amen.
We want to speak life into the community and share the words about, this particular topic today, but we share topics about a whole lot of different other things. So this topic right now, dealing with visual issues, there are over 700,000 veterans in the state of Georgia. And over that 700,000, I'm sure there are thousands of veterans who fit into the category of being visually impaired, but have not stepped out there yet. So hopefully this show will empower them. Just like we say, we want to speak empowerment into the community, because we're the empowerment group, that we encourage them to go out there and utilize the VA system for something Herman said earlier, you earned.
Right. Absolutely.
This is not given to you. You earned it because you served, because freedom's not free. Freedom is not free. So this is something that we need to let folks know. And right now we're live on YouTube and we're live on Facebook. So those individuals can check us out right now.
Well, you are, and I think both of you emphasize how important technology is. Speaking of e-benefits and My Healthy Vets, it's important to all veterans, because with us going through the pandemic and with the information highway and where we're headed with technology, almost everything is going to have to be done using the information system, and we're going to have our skills up to par to deal with these systems. So emphasizing My Healthy Vet and benefits is
Yeah, I agree with you, Herman. It's even if a veteran is completely blind, male or female, they have an aunt, an uncle, a niece, a nephew, a brother, a sister, a wife, a cousin. Just go on va.gov and go into the search engine and type in blind rehabilitation. And there's a wealth of information that will come up to get you started taking that first step to get the help that you need for the services that you need, and something that is going to help you and your family adjust to your new normal. Again, we're listening to great information from Farrell Matthews, a blind rehabilitation specialist out of the great state of Florida, and he's providing us some important information for our worldwide listeners. And I must tell our listeners out there, WCEG Talk Radio is moving up the chain here. We're now ranked like number 2 in the world in regard to what we're doing as far as providing information. So your information is going out throughout the country and the world, Mr. Matthews. You can be assured of that.
Well, thank you. It definitely was a privilege. And again, I thank you both, as well as Vivian Greer, for bringing me on. Penny Rogers, who's responsible, even Department of Veteran Affairs, for giving me this opportunity, as well as information to put out. Hopefully my colleagues won't be too upset with me, because that means more things we have to do, but that's what it's about. You mentioned the community, and this adjustment to a blind or visual impairment may make you feel less than a man, and but that's okay, or woman. But the thing is that, to put that information out, so you can continue the radio station here, or this program here, to be of service to the community, to uplift and to persevere, to let the veterans know, and their caregivers that are taking care of them, to don't quit, keep pushing for it. resources are available, whether you're a veteran or not. Resources are available within your community. At one time or another, I had a program that actually took care of non-veterans on purpose, because the VA does have a plethora of different devices, but maybe in the community, someone who may have not been a veteran, experiencing the same visual impairment, don't have anything. So just wanted to make sure that, myself and my profession, we continue to take care of people, just old school community. We take care of one another as best we possibly can. And for the person that's experiencing it, do not quit. Keep pushing. We're there for you.
I'll tell you what, folks, we've been
Not to interrupt you, but that's big. Anthony and I have been doing this over 5 years now, and not quit is important because, for example, I've been dealing with my claim for 10 years, and we had people that we have talked to that been dealing with their claim for 20 years, and eventually their ship come in. So you just have to keep persevering and keep providing accurate information to the VA, and also, as we talked earlier, is get in touch with a veteran service organization and a veteran service officer that you are compatible with.
Right.
That's very important, Herman, because those veteran service organizations and officers, they're third parties. They don't work for the VA, so they're your advocate. So they're the ones that can help you deal with the maze of the bureaucracy of the VA, and that's what it is. It's the largest healthcare system in the United States, but it's a bureaucracy. So we've been blessed, Herman, to have Mr. Matthews, who is a blind rehabilitation outpatient specialist with the North Florida, South Georgia Veterans Healthcare System, located in Lake City, Florida. So Herman, why don't you close us out, because it's just been a great show today.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Good Friday also. So we wish you a blessed Easter, and we have a guest today for participating in Veterans Today. And we do this every other Friday. We are worldwide community employment group, WCEG networks, and we have quite a few other programs that are on. So please go to WCEG radio.com and take a look at our other programs. This program is recorded live. You can screen and look at it on Facebook. We're on YouTube, and you can subscribe to it. So with that, we wish everyone a happy Easter and a safe Easter.
Same to you. Goodbye. Take care.